Maybe I'm weird. I'm pretty sure I'm weird. But I like being weird. Sometimes I'm just like, I just fall in love every day. I'm driving down the road. I see a tree. It's a really beautiful tree. And I like burst into tears. I'm just like, that's such a beautiful tree. And I meet people all the time on the podcast and I just fall in love right away. Like not romantic love, but I'm like, oh my God, I love this person. They're so amazing. And this is what absolutely occurred with Luis Mojica. Even the first time we met like in this networking group and we exchanged like little, messages and stuff. But when I got him on the podcast, especially after having listened to one of his courses and so many of his podcasts and the way he can just honor what's so. Honor his body, have such compassion for himself. And in this incredible podcast, you're going to learn. So he didn't like wake up that way. Like he wasn't born that way. Like he had quite the journey. But the man does his work. And this is where he's at. Home. And able to give such incredible wisdom to us and how much it completely aligns with the trauma integration work that I do with my clients with psychedelic somatic integration, with all of my Allana Pratt method, embodiment practices and feeling. We are on such the same wavelength of how we embrace being human. You are going to love this. Definitely get his book. It's in pre-order, so you can get all the goodies still. Mine's on its way. I've made my order. What an incredible, incredible man. Enjoy this podcast. Beautiful sister, take a breath with me. Oh, when was the last time you felt really grounded in your body, still in your mind, truly in love with yourself? Not fixing yourself, not striving to be different, just loving your sweet self exactly as you are. I know you've probably been strong for everybody else. Yet this is your moment now, an invitation to be there for you. To say yes to not just the bare minimum, but your real needs. To listen to the truth of your body. To slow down and hear the deepest truth of your heart. To face what you've been perhaps avoiding so that you can embody your authentic feminine power. And you don't have to do this alone. Like so many others before you, we can partner in divine sisterhood. The divine feminine way is to collaborate, to open our hearts together into the glorious, great unknown, the mystery. So I invite you to go to allanapratt.com/connect and book a call with me today. We will get through any shadow to the light of your fullest glory together. Promise. Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 14, Dark Night to Divine Light, because we both know intimacy is an inside job. Hello, and welcome back, delicious creatures, to Intimate Conversations, Season 14. Here we are from Dark Night to Divine Light. And I have many networking groups that I belong to. But when somebody comes through the thread that I'm like, ooh, I really want to bring this person to you. This is what happened when I met Luis Mojica. He is a somatic practitioner. He is a trauma nutritionist. This is sparking you already, isn't it? And the founder of Holistic Life Navigation, where he teaches thousands of people around the world how to recover from stress and trauma. And he uses whole foods, self-inquiry, and somatic experiencing as tools to find safety within yourself. And through Holistic Life Navigation, that's the site, holisticlifenavigation.com, Luis offers online courses and webinars, in-person workshops, retreats, trauma-informed support groups, a monthly membership, a newsletter, a weekly podcast, and a popular YouTube channel filled with insights and interviews. And I want you to get his upcoming book, Food Therapy. I've already got my copy. There's goodies that you get when you order the pre-record. It's going to be released at the end of April. So welcome, new friend. How are you?
Wow, thank you. I mean, as I hear you, I'm like, how do we do all that?
I don't know. That's a lot.
I'm sure you get that too when someone's reading your bio. You're like, wow, you don't really, when you're doing it, you don't sit back to really witness it until someone says it to you.
Yeah, yeah. And when we first started to get to know each other, this really, when you sort of got so aligned with your highest timeline, everything just fell into place. So, before we get into a bunch of questions that I want to ask you, tell people how you came to this gift to the world.
Hmm. Yeah, so the book is called Food Therapy, and really the philosophy and the work is food therapy, even though holistic life navigation is what I call the modality. The
Uh-huh.
food therapy piece of it is really understanding how food is a tool for nervous system regulation, but
Yeah.
it's also this tool that symbolizes what you're holding, what's unmetabolized, what unmet needs live in your body based on your
Mm.
behaviors with food. And I had, quite a traumatic childhood, not
Mm.
because I had a broken home, but because I was born into a very unique body. And I was born into what's called an intersex body. And
Mm.
so my body turned testosterone into estrogen throughout my entire childhood. So
Mm.
I'm male, but my body developed partly female, partly male during puberty. And it was extremely confusing.
Yeah.
I developed breasts and hips, and I felt very much like a young girl, even though I was also developing as a male. So I didn't know where I belonged, where I fit in, what I was. It was very, very confusing. And
Yeah.
it attracted a lot of bullying
Oh,
and
of course.
sexual trauma and assault and all these things that unfortunately happen when you stand out, in
Mm.
certain societies. And
Mm.
so I really like the way Peter Levine talks about trauma. He's
Hmm.
the developer of somatic experiencing. And he says trauma is what happens when you don't have an empathic witness. And
Ah,
I
yeah.
like that because this is where the food piece comes in. I
Hmm.
didn't have an empathic witness because I hid these things from everybody.
Mm.
My mother to this day will say, gosh, I wish you would have told me. I would have really wanted to help you.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I get it. It's like, yeah, but when you're living it as the kid, the shame and the feeling like you did it and you're disgusting and all these things that came up for me from that, I
Wow.
held it all by myself.
Mm.
And so that holding was extreme anxiety, extreme panic, extreme overwhelm,
Yeah.
insomnia, all
Yeah.
the symptoms of PTSD.
Yeah.
And food was the only way I could quell those symptoms. It
Mm.
was years and years and years of binge eating, becoming overweight, becoming chronically ill from the foods I was eating, just downhill at age 13, just feeling really low, like rock bottom.
Wow.
And this chance experience, this very spiritual experience with music and a guitar, I get chills even when I say it, just because it was so shocking. It was such a surprise. I had no idea about healing. Everything started to shift for me. It's like I witnessed myself. I became that empathic witness through singing, songwriting,
Yeah.
and everything started to transform. This is when I was 15, 16, and I was on this whole new path. I felt like I wanted to live. I was suicidal for many years. I felt like I wanted to live. I started healing my body with food. I started realizing how my mind could heal with food and with self inquiry and witnessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went on to study psychology, nutrition, and then after many years being in private practice, I just started putting all this together, and now here I am in front of you.
I love this. Guy, you're so brave. And when I think about or feel into the soul that would choose this journey, like
Yes.
deep bow, deep
No,
bow.
thank you.
Yeah. Um, this is just a very shallow question, but maybe I'm hoping it's not so shallow. But
Nothing will bother me.
okay, I love the art on your face. Tell me what that has got to mean something beautiful.
No one has ever called it art. I love that. That's
Oh,
so cool.
yes, art.
It is. I mean, that was actually part of my waking up. When I was 19, one day I was looking in the mirror and I was in art school and I had this long paintbrush with I remember it was terracotta. It was like a terracotta red paint. And I
Yeah,
dipped the end of the paintbrush in it. And I just did one dot on my third eye.
yeah.
I was looking at myself, and if you look at yourself in the mirror and you kind of pull your hair and you go, okay, there I am.
Uh-huh.
That one dot was like, there I am. And then it turned into these three. And every morning for the last 20 years, I apply these.
Oh,
Um,
really? So they're not tattooed, but you
no, they're
actually have
not
like a
tattoos.
ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual. And I have considered many times tattooing. And about a decade ago, I realized I'm never going to tattoo it because the ritual of it. It's this way I
Yeah.
meet myself every morning.
I love that. Wow. It's interesting. My grandma Ruby was an Avon lady, and she gave me permission to wear lip gloss before my mom would let me. But she always celebrated. my fashion and my lip gloss, and she said, you know, you need to wear deodorant. Like she was just so good about helping me celebrate adorning my body. And I remember so many years not thinking it was a divine temple.
Hmm.
And part of dressing is a way to honor. But
Yes.
I've never tried this ritual, but putting on my makeup is a ritual.
Yes.
I love it.
That's what it is. When people have given me, over the years, I get quite amount of, believe it or not, a lot of hate for it. I've had,
Really?
oh yeah, I've had organizations drop me. They won't work with me because of how I look.
Stop.
I'm not kidding. I've had activists say that I'm being culturally insensitive. I've had like lots of things thrown at me, which shocks me because I never, in the real world, that never happened. But in the last 5 years, it's happened, online and in certain cases. But I don't know why I was saying that to you. There was because I'm always thinking it's no different than someone putting eyeliner on. Like when you
Totally.
said adorning yourself, that's how it
Yeah.
feels. It's an adornment.
Yeah. I totally agree. Wow. Again, back to the soul who would choose this path. And as you expand, I always see like the figure eight, right? The bigger or the more we integrate
Mhm.
and the more we give, the more we bump up against that next level of hatred. And maybe I'll be,
Yes.
maybe I'll be on your
Yes.
podcast one day. We'll
I know.
talk
I'd
about all
love
the other
that.
things.
I would
Um,
love it. I was just the other day, I was just feeling into that reality of the bigger you get, the more you touch. And
yes,
the more you touch, the more opinions and the more
correct.
hate, the more love. It all grows.
It's all just more. And
Yeah.
which is why I so instantly wanted to get to know you, because when we're not embodied and trauma is running the show and we're not even in our body, we're so hypervigilant, or we do come back into the body. And the first thing we hit, as you said, is the suicidal feelings. It is like impossible to deal
Hmm.
with the
Hmm.
amount of reflection we get from our expression in the world. And yet, when we've integrated that and we've found this safe place inside, I mean, we don't prefer it, but we don't have to leave our center. And to me, that's our birthright. But no one ever taught me how to do that. And I just love this idea of empathic witness. I was listening, all of y'all. Lewis has all these cool products, and he gave me this 4-week course, and it's filled with so many of your beautiful podcasts. And you just have like a radio voice. Most people have a radio voice, they have a radio face, but you're handsome.
I'll take
You
it.
do.
I will take it.
Yes, but what I noticed in a lot of your podcasts is we have a very similar point of view. The body's not wrong. We don't
Hmm.
need to fix it. You have such compassion for whatever comes up, and it comes through in the energy of your voice, the guidance of your meditations, your teachings, etc. So,
Well, I had to live with so much self-hatred, right? It's like it was so much. So
yeah,
you know Byron Katie's work, I feel
yeah,
like. Okay.
yeah,
It was a similar story. I mean, her suffering was way longer, but there's that feeling of I'm suffering at such a depth that once
yeah,
I finally got out, it's like I can't even get back there if I try because I already
yeah,
did my time, it feels like. And so now I'm so clear of
yeah,
when I'm going down that path of being unkind to myself because I did it for so long.
yeah. You got damn good at it.
I got really good at it.
Yeah, let's just go a little deeper there for a second. When we talk about trauma and things that have happened, and it generally happens when we're young, of course, we're going to make it mean it's our fault.
Yep.
Of course. And then, of course, we're going to try to fix it and criticize ourselves and be on guard so it doesn't happen again, and blame ourselves, blame others, the cycle. Maybe go into the food and the music and how that began. You got a new way to witness yourself with compassion. I didn't get compassion until my autonomic nervous system got out of hypervigilance, got through the suicidal bad, through the rage, terror. Like there was so many things I had to get through till I rested into authentic embodied compassion. So how did it
Hmm.
go for you?
Well, even you saying that is just an important thing that I want to touch on as I go into my own story.
Mm.
Until you're out of that state of hypervigilance, I
Yep.
should say, in that state of trauma response and hypervigilance, you're not designed to have empathy for anyone.
Yeah.
This is how war is possible. It's like
Right.
when you're in that amount of stress, you're made to survive. You're not
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well
I
said.
just think that's important, right? Um, what happened for me was I remember I was sitting in, my mother had gifted me a DVD, a Joni Mitchell DVD.
You're
It was,
Canadian. I'm Canadian.
okay. It was called A Woman of Heart and Mind. It's an
uh,
excellent DVD of hers. It's like a
wow.
biography.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like 15-ish years old, and I'm watching this. And suddenly there's this image of her in Greenwich Village in New York City, just playing her guitar. And I had this feeling in my body come up.
Yeah.
And this feeling was the same feeling I would get before I'd have a panic attack.
Mm.
And I felt this come up. And instead of panicking, my body just stood up and started walking down the hallway to this guitar that was hanging on the wall that I just balked at, like the way it looked. I didn't know how to play it. And I just picked it off the wall and I sat on the ground and I started strumming it. And again, I'm getting chills thinking about it, because what happened was, you have to understand, at this point in my life, it was 5 years of utter hatred for my body. Not wanting to look at it, not wanting to feel it, especially from my neck to my waist, like anything between there, nothing would do anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And that was the area that the wooden body of the guitar was pressing against.
Yeah. 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 Oh, reverberation there. Yeah.
Yes. So as I'm strumming this guitar,
Wow.
this vibration is hitting all these places.
I get it.
And as I'm right, oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
That's okay.
I got some little dust went into my throat.
That's all right. Do you have any water?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, let's see. There we go. It's coming back.
Yeah.
So this vibration was hitting all these places.
Yeah.
And in that vibration, these parts, for the first time in years, felt this sense of safety. And they were being met by this, just like you said, the resonance.
Yeah.
And then this incredible voice started coming through, this sound, like singing, no lyrics, just like syllables.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that my anxiety, my panic turned into expression instead of overwhelm.
Yes.
And Allana, I was obsessed.
I get it.
All I could do for hours, every free second I had, I'd be in my room, door locked, playing the guitar and making music. And it was that ritual of writing and singing my writing was me learning how to witness these parts of myself I didn't know how to hold otherwise.
This just makes me happy, sad to hear all the things of what I'm so honored that all of the trauma that I went through led me to be a facilitator of this psychedelic somatic integration work, where I get to witness these places that are just too beyond. They're just beyond for the
beyond,
person.
Yeah.
But for me, because I've integrated that intensity within my system, they're not beyond for me. I lean in. It is the greatest honor, the greatest privilege. I know we're going to get to 0 point. And as long as we just allow this to occur. So to think you were able to figure this out and gift yourself with this homecoming, what a miracle. Wow.
And miracle is really the proper word, because there was no way I could have even known what to do. It was doing me. It was moving through me.
Yeah.
And I was just open to it. I just kept chasing it instead of shutting it away.
Yeah.
And a couple years into that process, just constantly making this music, it saved my life. I mean, it held me when I had no one to talk about these things that happened to me to. I could sing songs with, interesting lyrics. No one would know what I was talking about, right? Like express it with myself.
Right.
And that led to this experience of a couple years later, I wanted to study psychology. So I went to college to major in psychology because, of course, I wanted to help people. I wanted to be this witness for them.
Yeah.
And while I was studying psychology, I was working at the health food store across the street. And the 1 week we were learning about the DSM, which is how they essentially diagnose people based on behavior and certain criteria.
Okay.
And I'm at the health food store and I'm losing all this weight. My asthma has completely reversed. My cystic acne has reversed. My cholesterol has gone down. Like all these things have shifted.
Wow.
Just from eating differently.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching this to the customers. And this one guy came in who was on all these antidepressants.
Yeah.
And he was working with me just, behind the counter, just teaching him some things about food. And within 3 months, he was off all his medication. He was completely cured of his depression. And that was the first time I ever even knew it was possible that food could affect mental health. I didn't know this stuff growing up.
Right.
And so I promptly dropped out of school because I didn't want to spend the next 8 years and
No,
hundreds of
not that
thousands of
direction.
dollars.
This direction.
Yeah, do this direction. Study nutrition. And as working as a nutritionist for almost 20 years with people, I really got to learn, wow, what is it that drives these food habits? Instead of looking at nutrition through the lens of don't eat this, or
Right.
healthy, unhealthy,
Right.
it's through a nervous system lens of how does it affect your body and
Yeah.
why is your body looking for that effect?
Yeah. Oh, this is good. I'm a partner with Aria Organic. A 2 week, we do 2 week detoxes about once a quarter. And some of my clients have come in for the journey and to look compassionately at the coping mechanism of the eating based on the trauma they grew up with and the beans of the 2 weeks. But I mean, I've listened to so many of your podcasts now, and with Karen Hurd
Oh,
as
yeah.
about healing your body with beans and caffeine and adrenaline and sugar obviously affecting your body, or dairy, etc. So maybe we could, because a lot of people that listen to this podcast, well, they all desire deep intimacy, and we know that starts with ourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're able to give from wholeness to another, and they're just dealing with life,
Mm-hmm.
having their coping mechanisms. And the thought of a 2 week detox, every time I invite them, they're like, you can just fuck off. I need my coping
Yep.
this. I need this. And yet over a period of time, as you said, all of the symptoms can go away when the foods change. So maybe we can go through a few of the
Absolutely.
foods that help with trauma, releasing trauma.
Yeah. Well, so let's start with just really defining somatically and biologically what it means when we say trauma.
Yeah,
Whenever
great.
you have stress, whenever you have trauma, you have the same thing going on, which is chronic production of adrenaline.
Right.
So your fight or flight hormones are constantly being secreted from your adrenals, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's stress or trauma, the same thing's happening.
Yeah.
When that happens, you get this increase in blood pressure. Your muscles get tight, your veins get tight, your heart rate increases. Your body is preparing for fight or flight, whether you need to or not, is
Right.
preparing for that.
Yes.
So what makes it stress versus trauma is stress repairs each day. So you
Right.
have that overwhelmed feeling, you sleep or you eat or you take a break or you take a nap, you recover. You're back
Right.
to baseline of being kind of chill out, open, not prepared.
Right.
Trauma, it doesn't let go.
Yeah.
You stay braced, you stay overwhelmed, you easily dissociate, you lose track of time.
Yep.
And this is what makes it so fascinating with food. There are so many practices in the world, in the therapy world, in the holistic world for regulating your nervous system, right? There's psilocybin, there's breath work, there's yoga, there's talk therapy, somatic therapy. No one talks about food. We talk about food through the lens of health, as we should, but we don't also talk about the other layer, which is how is food affecting your fight or flight response?
Yes. Yes.
And that's what started getting me really curious a decade ago. I started really researching these foods and categorizing them based on how they affected the body and the nervous system.
Yeah.
And certain foods would actually trigger the same fight or flight response that a car accident would trigger. Or
Whoa.
getting shocking news would trigger that shock if someone jumps out and scares you.
Yeah.
Same thing can get triggered with your food. And so
Whoa.
I started putting food in these categories, foods in these categories, stimulants, depressants, and balancers.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
right, the stimulating foods, as the name suggests, they stimulate you. They increase energy, they increase your heart rate, they activate your nervous system, stress you out essentially,
Right.
and they get us through when we have low energy.
Right.
The depressants are what we call the comfort foods, the soothing foods. They literally drop your blood pressure from your brain into your gut when you're eating them. So you temporarily get actually grounded while you're eating them. You feel slower, softer, deeper. And then when you digest them, they create a subsequent stress response. So you settle for a few hours, then you panic. And that's why there's a loop when you do comfort eating or binge eating. You can't really stop because you're
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
going up and down.
Makes total sense.
Right. And then these balancers are the foods that don't do either of those things. They literally balance out your system by balancing your glucose
Yep.
and supporting your nervous system and not activating the adrenals.
Yep.
So if you're eating balancers, you're not creating what I call food induced stress. Now you might have
Right.
life stress, but you're
Right.
not creating more stress on top of that with your diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're living off the stimulants and depressants, literally all day long, you're running on fight or flight hormones.
Yeah.
So your food will literally create the same biology that trauma or stress will.
Whoa. 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 And then I'm just thinking someone who has unintegrated trauma already. It's just adding like gasoline to the fire.
Exactly it. That's exactly it. And so that's why the nutrition is so important, because we eat every day. So
Yeah.
every day our bodies are interacting with foods, beverages, snacks that are either stimulating our adrenals or
Yeah.
balancing them. And
Right.
if you already are chronically stimulated because of stress or trauma, just like you said, you're adding to the fire with your diet.
Yeah.
When you learn about these foods, your diet actually becomes a counterbalance. So you might be going to a stressful day or season, but your food actually supports you from within and it
Totally.
helps you recover quicker from these events.
Yeah. And so yes, 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 yes. And when I eat balanced foods and I want to learn more because maybe there's some blind spots I don't know about, it's a way of like, hi, sweet body.
Yes.
I love my body now.
Yep.
I can be connected to it. I'm treating it well. It's grateful for me. We're friends. Like you're my best buddy. And when I'm not, I'm blaming my body for being a certain way. I'm creating separation. And then I don't have any of that grounded courage to eat the more balanced foods, etc. I've been off coffee for 6 months now. And I was like, oh, it doesn't really affect me. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh my
You
God.
don't know till you're off. Yeah.
Yeah, until you're off. And it was headaches, but not very long, a couple days, and then
Yep.
they were over. So stimulant, caffeine.
Yep.
What else can we talk about in that category
Well,
that
I wanted
or
to
do you wanna
rewind.
talk
You said something important. You said when you're feeding yourself the balancers, it's like, hi, body, hi, sweet body.
Yeah,
And when you're in the stimulant depressants, you're blaming your body for things.
totally. Yeah.
I want to break that down for a moment. That's important
Okay.
because the reason why for you in particular, when you eat the balancers, it's like, hi, sweet body,
Yeah.
you do the work, you
Yeah.
live the work of consistently tending to these subconscious, uncomfortable, inconvenient parts of yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you don't have those practices in place
Yeah.
and you start eating the balancers, you actually start to feel more of these parts emerge that were being kind of squelched or repressed, let's say, by the other foods. This
Yes.
is why when you're talking about your clients, this is why when someone's doing a detox or they're going into more balancing, quote, even healthy eating, they're going to start feeling more emotions that the other foods were keeping at bay. If they don't
Yes.
have something in place for that, they will not be able to maintain it.
Okay, that is like the right there. That's the little 30-second clip I'm going to get my staff to send out all over the freaking news. Because you're so right. If you can't open your heart, stay in your body, have this empathic witness to these parts that come up. I call it like little you, all these little yous, terrified little you, insecure little you, wants to kill themselves, little you, wants to kill the world, little you, like all these like parts inside. If you don't know how to be with them, well, that glass of wine sure looking pretty good, isn't it?
There
Right?
it is.
Yeah.
That's literally those parts are
Yeah.
what fuels people's out of control eating. It's
Yep.
not the food. The
Yeah.
focus is on the food. It's like, don't drink the wine, don't eat the cake, don't have the pizza. Don't even focus on the food. The food is just a symptom of
Coping
that
mechanism.
part.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you actually pause, I have a practice in the book of pausing an impulse to eat something, not even not eating it, because that can be too much for people, but just pausing. All this information comes up. And
Yes.
then you get to assess, do I need more support to be with, let's say, the grief that emerges when I don't have ice cream right away?
Right.
It's these huge states. So that's the first important part. You have to deal with that. That's why I love the somatic psychology piece. It's not just about nutrition. It's like,
Right.
well, nutrition shifts your state. If you have more what I call food sobriety because you're eating more balancers,
Yes.
you're a raw nerve to the world. You have to learn how to be with those raw nerves.
Yeah, like reality. You have to.
Yeah. And that's where the somatic work comes in.
Yeah.
But then the other thing you said that I thought was important was these stimulants and depressants, when you're living off of them or really depending on them,
Yeah.
you're being hard on your body. But it's not your body, it's your body's response to these foods. So when you're moody or you're unmotivated or you feel completely depressed and hopeless, that's your brain's signal that you need more support. That's what your body goes through when your glucose is out of balance.
Right.
It's not who you are, it's your body's response to these foods. It's a very natural, actually healthy response to how these foods affect us.
Right.
So even when you break that down, you start realizing, oh my gosh, who I am is different moment to moment based on how the food's affecting me. You start to get the sense of food even creating your sense of self and how you are in the world.
Wow. And then tie in hormones to that because the
Oh
foods,
yeah.
then there's the hormone, right? Or is it the hormone, then you eat the food to get rid of the hormone? Like, or it
A little
can
bit of
be
both.
either direction, right?
Goes both ways. But
Yeah.
so to go back to beans, Okay, so
Yeah.
the top three balancers that I really highlight, and there's many, but the top three are beans, green vegetables, and protein. Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
plant or animal, protein is the key in the meal.
Yep. Yep.
So these are important because when you're talking about hormones, let's go to the beans for a moment. Beans have the highest amount of soluble fiber than any other food on the planet.
Right.
That soluble fiber can whisk away this little molecule in your body called a bile acid.
Okay.
Think of like when you eat something, especially with fat, your bile from your liver goes into your intestine to digest that. It's like soap. And
Okay.
if you're thinking of washing dishes and you're using a sponge and soap and it starts
Yep.
to suds up,
Yep.
those suds are the bile acid.
Okay.
So the bile acid are these little things that break down fats into usable nutrients.
Okay.
Your body recycles them like I think up to 80 times or more. So
Mm.
it keeps recycling them through the body. It's just they're able to squeeze right back into the bloodstream and go back into the liver.
Okay.
When you have these beans with soluble fiber, the soluble fiber is like a magnet. It attaches to the bile acids and flushes them out with every bowel movement. Guess what's in bile acids? Adrenaline that's unmetabolized, sex hormones that make you out of balance, microplastics, forever chemicals, and metabolic waste. All
Whoa.
those things are sitting in those bile acids.
Wow.
So the
Bye-bye, please.
humble,
Wow.
exactly, the humble bean will just remove them every time you eat them.
Any bean.
Any bean, any bean in the world. The only bean that's not recommended is soybean because it has estrogenic effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some women and even some men are really going to be sensitive to that. Like I would
Right.
be because I have an estrogen thing.
Yeah.
But any bean, half of a cup 3 times a day. So it's half of a cup with each meal or half of a cup in between meal. Just get 3 half cups a day and you are consistently detoxing your body of those bile acids, making
Yeah.
your liver more efficient and effective and getting those metabolic wastes out of your system.
Oh my God. I'm having a moment of like so proud of myself, and I'm in my 50s. And if this could have been figured out earlier, it doesn't matter. This is how I've learned. This is where I've developed compassion,
Yep.
all the things.
Got
but
there
like,
when you were supposed to get there.
yeah, if there's not a pot of mung bean soup filled with a ton of vegetables in my fridge at all times to have on a busy day like this when I'm like working, but now you're going, I'm like, oh, because it makes me feel really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the key right there. So when I was trained as a nutritionist, it was in long-term health goals.
Yeah.
So most nutritionists will have someone come to them and they'll say, I want to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, you're working with that person for a year usually, right? So we're eating today. So in 3 months, we are at this place.
Yep.
This food therapy way of eating and understanding food and embodying it achieves what you just said, which is I'm eating that because I feel really good. Meaning, after every meal, the benefits are almost immediate.
Yeah.
For the next 3 to 5 hours, your mental health, your clarity, your body is running off what you just ate. You don't have to wait 5 months. It's happening now.
Yeah. I'm clear. I'm focused. I'm a channel of the divine. I don't even remember what I say. Sometimes it's so clever because it wasn't me. It's just like coming through me.
Yep.
I'm on my game, but I'm not hyped up, and I'm not stressed by whatever comes through. I remember when I first started my first detox. It was on my first sabbatical ever, and it was almost the end of the month. And our YouTube channel got hacked. And normally that would really send me off because that's where leads come from. And I said, oh, well, I guess we'll get it back or we won't. And I guess the divine is asking us to maybe do something else elsewhere. And my staff was like, are you high? I'm like, no, I've just been taking really good care of myself for the last month. And things are, as you said, balanced inside. And so I can respond in a balanced way, not react. Yeah.
Okay, so another incredible example, because when you're eating the balancing foods, your body actually has more capacity now for external stressors.
Totally. Yeah.
So when something happens, you don't get triggered like you would if you were already at capacity because of your food.
Yeah. And I believe a combination of integrating all the traumas in me, which to me turn into wisdom. It's not like you just get rid of the things.
Nope.
Like there's more wisdom, insights, capacity. So that I literally am starting. So it's almost like my third eye and my two eyes, or like, it's like a team. It's like I'm starting to see things of like the bigger picture, not just the one moment that I need to fix or change or resist or whatever. It's like this, oh, well, that's a little sucky. Wonder why that's happening. Well, let's have a look there. Like I can just sort of flow with things more. And
that is a clear signal of coming out of trauma response.
Yeah. Thank
That
you.
ability, like to see the way you just said it with your hands, how you expanded,
Yep.
you actually lose peripheral vision the more adrenaline you're producing. By design, you're supposed to be really narrow focused on the way out.
Right, right. So true. I was my subconscious, which I didn't know was in there until I knew was in there, was like, where's the next abuser to survive?
That's right.
That's what my
That's
body
right.
was doing nonstop. And now I love the feeling in my body when I do peripheral, when I look at something and my eyes sink back a little bit into my, I say,
Yes.
just sink, but and then like the solution's right there, right along with the challenge, all at
See,
the
I
same time.
again, I love how you say these things because even how you said I was always looking for the next abuser.
Yeah.
This is what the chronic production of adrenaline does. It
Mm.
prepares your body for threat.
Right.
So you consistently read everything as a potential threat. Nothing can be safe.
Yep.
When you consider that someone's living in that because of stress or trauma, and that they can eat something different for breakfast, and for a
Mm.
couple hours that can reduce, I mean, that is life saving for a lot of people. So this important bridge of what I eat is directly affecting my trauma response, not in 5 months, like in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It gives you that ability to have a little more of that space, and eventually you realize, oh my gosh, there's no threat right now, and that's your
Right.
body coming out of the trauma response.
Totally. Yes. And then the ability to go, like, because I'm an intimacy coach, right? I help people with dating and relationships.
Yeah.
Like, before you go out on date night, what are you going to eat? Or on date night,
Yes.
what are you going to eat? Or on that first date, or if you're going to go online dating, like, who you're going to be
Absolutely.
being is so instantly supported by this. And it will change your reality, because what you focus on is what you create. So
That's
if you
right.
focus on where's the next abuser, guess who you're going to be dating? Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that's exactly right. And I do a relationship group every other year usually.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of the golden rules in the relationship group is you talk
Uh-huh.
about nothing until you've eaten.
Oh,
So like, all day long they're having issues with the kids or the marriage or finances, and like we need to talk, and they talk before they eat something, and they're freaking out on each other. They
wow.
pause and have some nuts, or they have a meal, a balancing meal.
Yes.
30
Yes.
minutes later, it's a whole other relationship.
Oh
It's
my
like they
God,
love each other, everything's possible.
this is so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Okay. All right. This is awesome. So we know the stimulants would be like coffee, caffeine. Is there any other
Coffee,
stimulant
I'll
one?
give you the top three. Yeah.
Yeah.
So caffeine, sugar, and
Sugar.
skipping meals. Those are the
Ah.
three stimulants, and
Ah.
specifically liquid sugars for the sugar.
Okay.
Because when now to switch over to the depressants, when you
Yes.
add sugar to a lot of fat and calories, it becomes a little bit of both. So,
Yeah.
right? So the depressants are the fried foods, the heavy foods, and overeating. But if you take
Right.
a baked good, for example, like a cookie,
Mm.
it's going to be very rich in calories and fat, especially if you eat a lot of cookies.
Mm.
And in that moment, you're going to have the depressive quality of that blood pressure coming down from the brain,
Right.
feeling in your belly. You kind of get slow, a little fatigued, which is what we're looking for subconsciously when we're activated. We eat something that
Sure.
depresses us.
Sure.
But then once that digests, that's all
Yeah.
turning into glucose. You get a
Right.
spike, then you
Right.
have an adrenal response. So
Right.
90 minutes to 2 hours after soothing yourself with a bag of chips or with cookies, then you're running on adrenaline again. You have to go right back to the food.
Another bag of chips.
Another bag of chips, like endless. And that's why people feel bad about themselves. But
Yeah.
actually, it's your chemistry. It's not you.
Right, right. Oh, this is so good for people to recognize. And then back to the balancing foods. So much better for you. What did you say again? Beans.
Beans, greens, and proteins.
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself right now. Okay, good. And
You're like,
and
check,
support.
check, check.
Yeah, no, so it's good. And support, because when you are in your body balanced, anything unresolved is
Oh,
now safe to come up and say, will
yes.
you love me home?
What you just said is exactly what happens. I literally tell people the more balancing foods you bring into your diet, the more sensation and emotion you increase.
Yeah.
It's literally like plant medicine, like the way a shaman doses somebody, how much they can
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
That's how I see the balancing foods.
Mm.
If you have zero emotional intelligence or emotional maturity, or you haven't developed a sense of holding these big emotions that come up, I would never say stop eating the depressants and stimulants. I would say, okay, every meal, no matter what you're going to eat, or every snack, have a green, a bean, or a protein before. So they would just be bringing in some of the balancers in
Right.
addition to macaroni and cheese, right? Or in addition to a slice of cake, because that's going to titrate in just enough of that food sobriety. So it's not this bam, all my emotions I've been hiding from for 40 years are rushing in.
Yeah, I'm having a thought right now. So I do psychedelic somatic integration work with clients, and I'm thinking of one client in particular, a drinking addiction,
Yeah.
alcohol addiction, and how he would go for a period of time, no drinking, and then he would binge
Yeah.
because he hadn't yet developed, tell me if I'm tracking, the capacity to be with the big emotions that came
Correct.
up when he was off the alcohol.
That's right.
So the
That's right.
combination of doing the psychedelic somatic integration work and the alcohol was my best attempt at supporting him, but to have
Yes.
compassion that there
Yes.
is quite the capacity for him to develop. We've been
That's the
working.
word.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Because it's what we're doing with the balancers are making you so when anyone says they're sober, we never hear this with food. We always hear it with drugs.
Sure.
Food sobriety is always happening. That's what happens when you go on a diet and you feel crummy, or you stop drinking, or you stop having soda or drinking coffee and you feel depressed. You're actually in a state of withdrawal. So in that sobriety, just like you said, everything that's been repressed starts coming up. If you have no way to support and tend to that capacity and those sensations, you will immediately revert, just like an alcoholic would do or someone addicted to heroin or anything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but food is accessible. It's not immediately deadly, so we don't see it as a drug, but it has the same effects.
Totally. And then the other side of that, yes, anything suppressed that you haven't integrated is going to come up in your balanced state. But don't you think the other side of it as well, like true joy, not like happy because they like me, right? But true joy that has nothing to do with circumstances or orgasmic capacity to truly surrender and trust yourself and the universe, or creativity of what you're really here on the planet to do. Like all that good shit also gets to come through.
That's it. That's what really lights me up. So I say in the book, food helps us tolerate the intolerable. Once you start reducing those foods that help you tolerate what's intolerable, guess what has to happen? You have to change what's intolerable. So when you stick with those balancing foods and you reduce those other ones, and this is especially for people who they don't like their lives and food gets them through.
Yes.
Now you're confronted with, I have to change my relationship. I have to change my job, my style, the music I listen to. Like your life starts to change.
Yes.
And then that thing you just talked about emerges, that actual joy, the bliss, the contentment with my life.
Yes.
I don't have to push through with coffee or sugar. I am able to just love this moment.
Right.
And then have sugar if I just want the pleasure of sugar, but I don't need it to get through the day. It's very different.
Yeah, yeah. And the capacity to deal with a feeling then applies to your capacity to change your job or talk to your parents about such and such, or your wife about such and such, or talk to your kids and finally have that conversation. If you can't be with your own self, you can't have those tough conversations and make those risky moves or step into the unknown. So it all positively builds on itself.
It does. And as you're saying this too, you're highlighting another important part of this. Food helps us repress our boundaries, because if you're in a situation you don't like you just said, a conversation you need to have with somebody or a job you have to quit, you're not going to do it. The food will literally allow. I'll give you an example, actually. I had this example in the book. There was a moment in my private practice, which was really kind of like a light bulb moment for me. 8-9 years ago, where 3 different women came into my private practice. They didn't know each other. They all came in the same week. They all needed to lose weight and get rid of sugar out of their diet because they had all these health issues.
Okay.
So I looked at their food journal, and at 4 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, they were eating so much chocolate. And I said, what happens at 4 p.m.? Each woman said, that's when my husband gets home from work. And then I said, okay, well, we need to reduce this chocolate. Each woman then said, I would have to get a divorce. they didn't know each other. They all were doing this. I mean, how many women around the world are doing this?
Holy shit.
But here's the point, to your point.
Yeah.
Out of all 3, only one woman got rid of chocolate, and she divorced her husband 3 months later. And her entire life transformed.
There it is. Not that everybody, because sometimes you can have transformations in your marriages as well.
Correct.
But it takes 2 people. It takes
That's
2 people.
right.
Yeah.
But chocolate's so amazing because it has theobromine, which is, it's like the caffeine, but it's like the cousin to caffeine.
Okay.
And theobromine stimulates the heart. So if you consider what they were doing unconsciously, their heart was so depressed in the relationship, the chocolate stimulated it when their husband reminded them of this, this distance
void.
between the two.
Yeah,
the void, yes.
Yeah.
So the ones that kept stimulating their heart were able to tolerate an unsatisfying marriage.
And they just settled and stayed.
They settled and stayed. The woman who stopped, couldn't tolerate it, had a boundary and left.
Oh my God. I'm thinking of that show Cheers, where instead you go to the bar. So maybe some of the guys go to the bar and the women do chocolate.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's exactly what's happening. That's
Whatever you
right.
need to do to avoid
That's the call.
having,
Yeah, the male culture is the pub culture. It's like, I'm going
right,
to go and use a depressant instead of
right.
being with what's coming up. Exactly.
Totally. Wow. And that's why I just love my clients. They're so brave and so willing to sit in the fire and feel these things and integrate them. And now to be able to be really clear. I mean, this is how I eat, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be like preachy. But now I
Yeah.
can be like, watch the podcast with Lewis because because these detoxes I do once a quarter, they're helping me. And the way I eat is
Absolutely.
helping me, and my capacities to be with things, it's helping me.
And I'm really excited for you to have this book because I love when practitioners learn this because
Yeah.
the practices in the book you can do
Yeah.
with these clients and they're
Yeah.
gonna rock the detoxes then because they're gonna have all this work about these parts they haven't touched into before.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just go there for a second. Can we talk for 5 hours? No, we can't. But I
We could, but we're not going to.
we're not going to. Of all the practices somatically that you is your go-to for people, I mean, I certainly have mine, but what do you think is supportive when those feelings come up for people?
Yeah, there's two that I really tend to rest in the most, especially when we're talking with food and feelings.
Mm,
The first one is just a really general practice that I have in the book called finding the safety. And this
mm.
is where you sit back into a chair so you can really feel how it holds you.
Yeah,
And you put one hand over your chest, one hand over your belly or a
yeah,
pillow, and just
yeah,
give a little
yeah,
pressure.
yeah.
And you just take in the room that you're in, and you scan for things that are really lovely, but then
Mm,
you locate where you feel it in your body. So you're not
nice.
just saying, like, I love that plant. You're saying, where do I feel that plant? Oh, my
Mm,
legs settle, my shoulders open. So you're
mm,
tracking the parts of your body that aren't bracing. Because even the
right,
most stressed out person has parts that aren't bracing. It's just we don't feel them. We miss
right,
them.
right, right.
So I first like to get people in touch with what parts are actually okay.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a whole practice in the book that's about the roots of your cravings, essentially. And
Mm,
I referred to it earlier as the interrupting cravings practice. So when you feel a craving or you just imagine one even, there's an interruption, you pause, you set a timer, and I have these
mm,
prompts you go through, and it
mm.
helps these parts emerge so you can just have just enough time with them that you can handle, and then
Yeah.
put it away, go have the food if you want. It's like titrating yourself to just get in touch with those.
I like that. I often say in those moments, pause and ask, what am I really hungry for?
It's literally what they're doing in this practice. Yep.
I love it. That's so beautiful. So, so good. I'm having a little awareness and then I want to start to wrap up. And I just hope you come back and I hope I get to meet you. And I'm so grateful you
Oh
exist
yeah.
and all the things.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm doing pretty well and checking off my boxes and not that I'm a perfectionist or anything, but I just love how much better I'm feeling now that I've integrated trauma and I'm getting healthier and I can make a bigger impact and just be more peaceful with who I
Mhm.
am and life
Mhm.
in the face of the unknown. I notice, like the ladies at 4 o'clock with their chocolate, at the end of my day, I'm single and there's no one to hold me and there's no one in the bedroom to have sex with. And I'm like, oh, I can totally see if I was to pause right before I go for the glass of wine at the end of the day,
Yes.
I don't want to face like an empty house.
Yeah.
I don't want to face, it makes me want to cry. There's no one to talk to.
Yeah. Let's feel it for a minute. Where is that? Where do you notice that?
Throat,
Hmm.
top of heart and throat.
Yeah. So just this is part of the practice. You sensationally feel what wants to come up, which is this, sadness, pain, whatever you want to call it. And then you want to imagine when you drink the wine, what part gets soothed? What part gets the medicine or the support from the
It's
wine?
same place.
Same play. What does it feel like? What's the difference?
It's almost like in a crazy way, this empathic witness,
Yeah.
like the marriages that ended in divorce. At the end of the day, when I would talk, I would be made wrong or there'd be a fight. So don't talk. So it's either don't talk because I'm going to get abused or don't talk because there's nobody there. So either way was like,
Mhm.
I'm kind of in this box. And so the wine makes it feel like I can talk to myself because I journal. I have
That's
these
right.
wonderful spiritual practices at the end of the day. Like I soothe myself, but the
Yep.
wine somehow bypasses what just arose with you.
That's exactly right there. That's the perfect sentence. The wine or fill in the blank, whoever's
Sure.
listening, the food of choice, the habit of choice helps you bypass what just arose.
Yeah.
And it does
Yeah.
that because we don't yet have the capacity. Like it's arising because I'm here with you. You're not alone. We
Yeah.
need capacity. We need support sometimes to go into these
Totally.
parts of us.
Yeah.
right? So it's just even noticing that you carry that. Can you titrate a couple minutes of sitting with that and then drink the wine? How much space can I have before I drink the wine and be with the sensation and emotion?
Sure. Well, I'm sort of I don't know if it's healthy or not, but I'm a badass. Once I find it, I go deep. I go in. We're going to get to the other
I'm
side of
very
this now.
similar.
As soon as I have the awareness, but it's a blind spot till it's a blind spot, which is so
Yeah.
beautiful because I can see other people's, but I can't see my own. And I'm so grateful
Yep.
for your instant space holding to just be with that. And that's okay. And you're such a beautiful, compassionate practitioner when things arise. We're very similar that way. Like I so have compassion for her.
This is what I live for. You know,
Right?
I went
Same.
through so much pain that I get off in this lifetime seeing these parts emerge in people.
Same.
I live for it. So when that came up in you,
Same.
I'm like, this is what I'm here for. Let's sit, let's feel this, my friend.
It's so
Right?
wonderful to meet someone who's just so turned on by what most people run from.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really do. I live for this.
Same, totally same. Okay, you're such a rock star. Holisticlifenavigation.com/, the book or book?
Yeah, the book.
The
But
book.
if you even go to the website, you'll
Okay.
see on the top right there's a gold button that says the book.
Yeah.
Anyone can also it's available everywhere. It's coming out of Hay House, which I'm really excited about. And
Amazing.
it's you can just literally type in food therapy online, it will come up. And anyone that pre-orders it, you can take your order number and plug it into our book club on the website. I'm doing a
Okay.
2-month book club absolutely for free for any pre-orders, and we're gonna be reading the book live, not reading the pages, but going through the 4 major sections to teach people how to do the practices, answer questions,
Oh,
support people with
stunning.
that.
Wow. So thank you. So I'd like everyone to go to holisticlifenavigation.com and get your pre-order and be a part of this community and learn more. As we complete, I know you live for this. I live for this. Yeah. What is it like to be you, having gone through all of that bullying, finding your way, and now being able to serve and contribute to the world so beautifully? What is it like to, because you have a child, we went through your bio, you were a very busy man, you do a lot of things. When you take the time to be quiet, what's it like that you've made it here?
It's such an amazing feeling. I mean, as you say it now, it feels like there's a balloon, like my heart is a balloon, and not like pressure as
Yeah.
in overwhelm, but swelling gratitude. That sometimes I have to move my shoulders just like you did, or I have to
Yeah.
cry because I'm so grateful, or I have to go kiss my
Yeah.
daughter or my wife, or go sing. It's just I I don't know how to not be grateful.
Yeah.
It's like a constant practice.
Ah, as a way of being, and that's your frequency
Yes.
you just put out. Yeah.
And for everything.
Mm,
If I'm feeling depressed because of something, I'm grateful. Like the
mm.
depression's here. It's slowing me down. Let me lay down with it. It's not like I'm grateful because I'm always perfectly content and happy.
Right,
I'm
right.
grateful for every single shift. And I could have
Yeah.
never imagined being there. I thought I had to
Yeah.
be perfect to be okay with myself.
But that's what the mind would strategize.
That's
But
right.
the actual lived experience is something different.
That's right.
Grateful for being alive and all of its flavors and
And you get that
experiences.
because you must experience it too.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of my son. I went through a long custody battle, and then my son didn't talk to me for 6 years. And he just called about 6 weeks ago. 90 seconds somehow cracked. Like
Mm.
I thought I was open and I think that was my capacity. Like I was
Mhm.
this big, but something when I heard his voice cracked me open to, okay, I didn't know I was holding my breath for 6 years. Some part of me.
Yes. Yes.
And oh, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for doing the pilot for the docu-series. I'm ready for this. And it was so big of what I was willing to give and receive. And I was like, oh, this is so much love. I can't even breathe. Oh, it
Mm-hmm.
was just, I was like cracking open to a
Mm-hmm.
deeper embodiment, maybe like more infinity inward and infinity outward. Everything just got big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. I'm putting myself in your shoes because
Mm,
my daughter's 11
mm,
and it's still this age where she just always wants to be with me.
yeah.
And it's like so delicious. And I'm just
Right.
imagining, wow, 6 years of her removing herself from me and then 90 seconds. I mean, it sounds like a floodgate of
Yeah.
emotion.
It was this sweet nectar, completely unexpected.
Yeah.
And then it's just been like shattering these limits I didn't know were around me to
Mm,
just keep it together, serve my
mm,
community, don't go kill yourself, like
yeah.
all the things that I've had
Yep.
to go through for 6 years. Um, yeah, it's amazing. And I still
That's
haven't heard from
incredible.
him since. Like I've texted him a bunch of times, but this is like a big doorway for him as a man to
Yeah.
say, I love you, Dad, and I want Mom back in my life. So he's
Yeah. I
going,
get to have agency now.
correct. Yeah, it's time for my sovereign expression. So,
Oof, beautiful. Wow, what an amazing initiation. This is the thing, you saying this, I mean, life is constantly initiating us.
yeah,
All of my traumas, every single one, the most horrible experiences are initiations for me.
yep,
And when I
yep,
got that, I
yep,
really stopped suffering.
yeah,
So I could resist it for the rest of my life, or I could say, okay, why is this in my body? What can I do with this? And it changed my
correct.
life to let it become wisdom, like
Yep,
you said earlier.
I'm so tracking with you. Yeah. As soon as the resistance is gone, I always just do this with my hands because I don't know, maybe it
Mm,
helps, or maybe I'm actually
mm.
feeling the frequency coming out of my heart. I'm like, okay,
That sounds, yeah, it
yeah,
feels that way.
what do you got? Bring it. I
Yeah.
Because I do know when we do the work, surrender, feel, integrate, whatever we want to say, when we do this, we get back to whatever you want to call it, 0 point stillness. We get
Hmm.
home and
Yeah.
more of our soul comes in our body and we're even more grateful
Yep.
for
That's right.
existing. Yeah.
That's right. Well,
Oh,
I'm grateful for this. I seriously, thank you. The moment I saw you, I thought I want to reach out to her. I think we're gonna have some kind of, sibling connection,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I just love it, and I'm excited to do more work with you in some way.
Oh, likewise. Thank you for existing. Thank you
Yeah.
for all that you do with all your clients. Give my love to your wife and daughter. And everyone, please get your food therapy upcoming book, holisticlifenavigation.com. And as we complete this podcast, I really hope those of you watching and listening have had a couple mic drop moments in your own life, your own behaviors, maybe the way you speak to yourself or your body or your coping mechanisms, etc. Hopefully there's been a moment that maybe some emotion came up. I encourage you just to titrate a little bit at the end of this podcast. Maybe go outside, put your feet on the ground, eat half a cup of beans, go outside, put your feet on the ground, and just allow this to inspire a divine action. Certainly getting food therapy, a divine action, but something that you're ready to face or feel, some way you're ready to honor yourself. We would be so grateful if our conversation could bless your existence in this way. And so until next time on Intimate Conversation, thank you for going deeper into the intimate world with us today. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life. Wasn't that conversation inspiring? So many insights, so much information, so much truth, so much vulnerability. And how wonderful to be with someone who's done the depth of work I have with trauma integration, because when the emotion came up, he didn't fix it. He didn't resist it. He didn't override it. He was just right there with me, felt through it, got to the other side, had the insight. I love that I've met a brother in this. I want you to be sure to get his book. I believe you'll still be able to get all of the pre-sale goodies. He has so many wonderful courses and memberships and different platforms to support you that I would really recommend you check out. So thank you, dear Luis, and I want to let him and you know that whenever a window is opened and I see, oh, there's a place where a part of me needs to come home, a part of me needs to be integrated. I sat with that more with one of my practitioners, and the memory of like going to bed at night and wanting to check out. I'm remembering my mom and dad would fight in the TV room every single night. He'd come home from work, pour his big scotch. She would be sipping tea, but then she'd join him. And my bedroom was downstairs by them. And I realize now going to bed at night, not cognitive Allana, not the small, tiny, conscious, primary consciousness of our brain. No, the subconscious, the huge 95% subconscious and unconscious behaviors. I'm afraid to go to bed to hear all that yelling. And to be able to acknowledge that without judgment, support my trauma, integrating back to home, has created a whole new reality before bedtime. So I'm really glad that happened in real time, because it shows not only Luis's capacities, but also my genius. I have a client who has struggled with her weight. She's also been physically and verbally abused growing up, and she used food to numb the terror of what was coming next. And any way to reward herself for navigating the terror, she'd also eat. So either direction she would eat, and then that numbing out that the sugar does. And the only sense of power, worth, clinging that she had was the food. And now that she's able to slow down and integrate this trauma and feel into these layers, the weight is leaving. The freedom is growing. The body love is growing. The ability to have pleasure from other ways other than food are growing. Her capacity to receive a life that works, not waiting for the angry judgment to come. She's relaxing. Every area of her life is up-leveling, one step at a time. And that's what it takes, one step at a time. So I encourage you, if this conversation has, oh my God, I need to send this to a friend, do so now. I'd like you to rate, subscribe, review, whatever you need to do, so that we can have a higher algorithm and more people can see this very important conversation. Please do so. It'll just take a moment. And third, if you're like, okay, I'm eating because of unhealed trauma. You're smart, you're clever, you're not, you know better. And yet there's something subconscious running the show. You're not broken, there's nothing wrong. There is just an unhealed, probably several, but unhealed program going on in the body that little by little over time with the container that I hold and integration, which is the most important part, and perhaps the use of psychedelic somatic integration work as well. We got this. We got this, because your body is the vessel in which your soul's light, your soul's frequency, your soul's blueprint comes in. And if it's blocked up and holding on to unhealed trauma, you can't be the bright, radiant person that you are. You can't live your genius. You can't receive, or even if you do, you sabotage it. All of these behaviors, they go all the way back to our sweet body. So I would be honored to support you in a journey of trauma integration all the way home to still point inside, where you're one with all, and this is your birthright. So in the show notes, along with all of Luis's information, there's also a way you can have a scholarship for an intimacy breakthrough call with me. Let's go deep. Let's be together, and let's feel into the path that's best for you. I love you all, and thank you for being with us on Intimate Conversations, where we go deeper each week in the intimate world. I love you.